Alright, I hope this works. I'm going to attempt to vlog on my car ride home. It's around 9 o'clock, Monday evening. It's been a long day. Oh, but a great one. It's been such a good day. Whoa, what in the world? Man, I feel like I got a lot accomplished today. This is the third video, vlog, whatever you want to call it, I've made today. Man, I've wanted to do this forever, but never had the chance. Like I said in my first video, but this is cool. I'm gonna do this so much now. The camera's slipping. Because I have a lot to say, and I think people will want to hear what I have to say, because I don't know why, but for some reason they do. I'll go ahead and share a couple things that happened to me. Whoa, this is making me an awful driver. I need to get this figured out. So today, I went to Red Lobster with my grandparents, and it was really good. But I got there kind of early, and so I sat and watched. Alrighty. Anyways, lobsters. It's cold. So I got talking to these lobsters. Well, not out loud, obviously. That's weird. Coming from the guy who's talking to his camera in his car. But I'm talking to these guys through my head, and it's really only the one I'm talking to. And gosh, this lobster, he just looks sad. He looks really sad, and I mean, he has reason, considering he's going to be eaten, and also considering the fact that his arms are clawed up by rubber bands. And so I'm staring at this thing, you know. I'm thinking, like, man, like, what do you got to live for? And I feel bad, like, for thinking it. I'm hoping he can't hear me through my brain. But honestly, just the poor thing, you know, like, they are just trapped in this tank, and they are living creatures. And if you look at them, they're interesting. They're not just a tasty treat, they are these living creatures, and they're smart, and they're evolved, and they are just, they're incredible creatures, just like every creature on this planet. But, I get to talking to it, and I say, like, man, how are you gonna get out of this situation? And, I gotta warn you, I didn't get it out of the situation, so I don't want you to get your hopes up. But, I'm talking to it, and I was like, man, like, there's no way out of this. Like, you're just screwed, and that sucks. But, I'm talking, I feel bad for it. I mean, I don't even lose eye contact with the poor lobster. I mean, I'm just really connecting with it, and this sounds crazy. This you are watching this and you're like, this guy is crazy. I'm gonna unsubscribe, or I'm not gonna subscribe, or I'm gonna report him to the mental institution. But honestly, I got talking to this lobster, and I was, after about 5 minutes of staring at this thing, it starts moving around, and that's pretty weird, because these lobsters, they're usually pretty still, and they're sitting there. The other ones sat there the whole time, didn't move at all, but this one starts moving around, kind of undoes its tail a little bit, it's moving, it's walking around, and then like it goes back to its corner. I guess the corner was like where it likes to go. But I'm looking at it, and I say, in my head, of course, I say, like, if you can actually understand me, walk towards the edges of the cage, like towards me, closest to me. And as I think that, it actually gets up and it moves towards the cage. And I was like, no, like that didn't just happen. And it goes back to its little spot, and I say, do it again. And it walked towards the cage again. Like, it walks up to the edge of the cage again. And, like, that is just crazy to me. Like, I know it's coincidence. I know it's a lobster. Obviously, I'm not talking to a lobster. But what in the world? Like, what? Like, why did this lobster do that? And so I'm thinking, and at this point, I'm really thinking, like, wow, I want to save this lobster. And I was like, the only way you can do it, little friend, is by cutting off your own arm. Because if you can do that, who will want to eat you? You only have one arm. It's going to hurt really bad, but you only have one arm. And it actually, like, it put its claw, like, under it, and like, I could tell it was trying to get that rubber band off. Like, it had those little pincers. It was really cute. It was, like, cleaning its, like, whiskers and all that. They're really cool creatures, but it couldn't get it off, obviously. But then it goes back to its little corner, and it's sitting there, and I'm thinking, I was like, well, maybe, like, if it teams up with that other lobster, or maybe if the two lobsters fight, like, they'll have, like, mad cow disease and lobsters. And so I'm like, you gotta go over that little lobster, you gotta get in a fight or something. And he gets up and he starts, like, moving towards the other lobster, and he gets about halfway there, and he just kind of stops, and, like, it's like he's looking at me, and then he turned around, like he was too scared, and he went back. And like, at this point, he was like he gave up. And I know it's just a lobster. I understand, but think about this in a real life situation. Think about a real person, someone who's trapped, someone who's lost, you know, like, who doesn't know what to do. And they can get out of the situation. Yeah, it might be tough to get out of this situation, but they can do it. But the thing is, they are just too scared to do it. They're too scared. And just like that lobster, it gave up. It gave up. It sat in that corner, and I just watched it for about 10 more minutes. I watched that poor lobster sit there and wait for his own fate. And it just got me thinking, like, yeah, it was just a lobster, but do you know someone, or have you done something like that? Yeah, maybe not your life. Maybe not your life wasn't in danger, but honestly, think about it. Have you backed down because you're too scared? With a problem you've had, with a person bullying you, or even, like, with a girl. If you're a guy and you don't want to make that risk of talking to that girl because you're afraid of being rejected, what's the worst that can happen, you know? What's the worst that can happen? She says no, you move on, you try something else. Because if you're like that lobster and you don't try anything, you're gonna die, not knowing if it would have worked. Because Someone else could not solve your problems. I could not solve that lobster's problem. I could not reach my hand in there, grab that lobster, and save it. But that lobster, it could have saved itself, you know? It could have. And obviously, it's just a lobster, but obviously you're just human. And there's so much more to life than just thinking. There's doing.